You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Presented by CMH Heli Skiing and Peak Performance.
Game
Hello.
on. Hello. All right.
Cheers. Sorry, I started without you.
You already cracked yours. It's afternoon, finally. I already cracked into one at the first episode today.
Cheers.
Cheers. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's nice to meet you,
I've
too.
been a fan of your skiing for a while.
Oh.
I see under your arm.
Got my Montana tattoo here.
Your Montana tattoo?
And the Bridger Range. This was the view of the Bridgers from my house growing up.
Isn't it like right there?
Yep. Yeah, so I grew up like 10 minutes north of here.
Okay, and you can, like, while he was telling me, you can see it out the window from here. That's cool. So you're a Montana girl.
Yep.
So why are you cheating on your home state?
I know.
By living
gosh.
and working and representing Utah and Salt Lake City. Let's just get Let's get right to it. I told you, just relax. This is going to be mellow and chill, but no, you're wrong. Yeah. I wanted to lull you into a sense of like calm.
Nice word.
Tell me, why have you turned your back on your home state?
Yeah. So here we go, getting into it. Growing up, I competed in Moguls up at Bridger Bowl. Mm-hmm. And so
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was gonna interrupt with something stupid already, but no, I'll let you go.
Let me talk in peace. No. Yeah, so I grew up competing Moguls, and then my gap year when I graduated high school is when I moved to Utah to kind of keep progressing my Mogul career. Park City's kind of the best place to be for that. They have the water ramps for training in the summer.
Is that at Kimball Junction?
Yeah.
Like right where the ski jumps are?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I live like 5 minutes away from that now.
Okay. I was there for the Olympics. I ended up staying.
Oh, sweet.
I was living, it was like my first year in Whistler, and I was living with a bunch of Aussies. And they're like, hi, Mike, we're going to Utah. And I was like, cool. They're like, you want to come? I'm like, absolutely. And I was like, hey, when's the Olympics? And they're like, that's why we're going. I went, well, yeah, let's go. And we ended up staying in a crappy little condo with zero furniture, like not a chair.
It was probably so expensive, too.
No, it was just somebody's random place. That's why we ended up basically it was a squat, and it was right across from the ski jumps.
Oh,
that's
nice.
the only way I know Kimball Junction. So
okay.
anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at now. So while I was competing Moguls, that was awesome. And then I also went to Westminster College in Salt Lake. So those were the two main reasons I moved there. I graduated with communication and marketing. So
did you say it was a gap year?
Yeah, so I took a gap year and then I went to Westminster.
Oh, okay.
So did both.
I'm just calling you out. I'm trying to
making me sound story, calling out the flaws of my story.
At some point in this interview, I'll make you feel comfortable again, and then I'll get you again. No, I'm just kidding. So Moguls.
Yeah. So I did Moguls until 2018, and then I actually broke my back free skiing while I was still competing. But during the rehab process of my back, I kind of realized, like, wow, I am kind of really burnt out on Moguls and really tired of putting my whole heart and soul into like training all the time, and I kind of just forgot that skiing's fun. And so going through that injury kind of reminded me, like, wow, skiing's supposed to be fun, and I don't think Moguls is doing that for me anymore.
I've heard that refrain so many times on this show. A lot of the free skiers are like, I ski raced, and then I realized I wasn't a good racer, or I was burnt out, or I didn't want to do it, and then I moved on. But almost all of them, that was the key to their success.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I'm so grateful that I have my Mogul background because it taught me fundamentals of jumping. Yeah.
Backflips. You're like exactly. The new backflip queen.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I was looking at your Instagram and you're like, I love backflips. I'm like, she does.
I know.
I just read it like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, absolutely she does. And that's why I started to notice you. I'm like, oh, this is massive, big, floaty backflips. And it has to be Moguls.
Definitely. And it's actually so funny that you call me that now because I remember when I first started competing Moguls, I was in it for the skiing and I was terrified of jumping. So I was always like, oh, I'll take this sport as far as I can.
Twister, spread.
Yeah, I will always do uprights. I will never do a flip.
I'm going to do the first 5 twister.
Exactly. And then I went to the water ramps for the first summer and my coach was like, just try one. Just one. And I was like, okay, fine. And I tried one and I was like, oh, shoot, that's fun. And then I immediately was hooked on air and jumping and progressing that aspect of my skiing. And from the beginning, I never had good like mogul backflips. They always looked very like I should be out
super janky,
hucking them off of cliffs or
because
something.
they have to be like symmetrical and super like lined up perfectly, and like you get like points off of your elbows down and stuff, right?
Moguls is very aerials based, but I never really had that. I always just kind of liked to go big, and I would always land in the moguls and then blow up. But I'd be so stoked because I was like, "Did you see how big I went?" And they're like, "Ryan, you gotta like." That's not what this sport is about.
Right? So, air straight into moguls.
Yeah.
That's I don't understand that sport. Like I can't physically, mentally wrap my head around it.
It's a wild one, but I mean, it makes you such a great skier. You're so reactive and quick on your feet, and it makes skiing soft snow so fun because you're like, wow, you really appreciate it because you're not skiing like rock hard blue moguls at Killington,
smashing your knees apart. Have you had many knee problems or injuries?
Knock on wood, not from skiing. I've had knee injuries from horses. Growing up in Montana, I did horse stuff too, but.
You're one of those horse girls?
Yeah, I'm a horse girl. Make fun of me for that now.
Well, I'm not going to make fun of you. I don't know anything about horses. Tell me about horses. Like, so did you grow up on like a ranch or something? Or what?
Kind of. Like a small farm. Like just 10 minutes north of Bozeman.
It's like a hobby farm?
Kind of. Yeah.
Like when I flew in, I was looking at, I think we were going over what's that range right there?
Bridgers.
I was flying in from Denver, and I saw this one zone, and there was this one mountain face, and it had like 4 super long, amazing couloirs. I'm like, what is that? And I was trying to take a picture out the window, but the guy beside me was asleep, and then he kind of woke up. I'm like, But then as we flew closer to town, like the idea in your head is like, oh, Montana and ranches and all those things. And I'd see this like one house on the kind of like the elevated part of this land, and then all the trees and the gullies, and then all of this rolling hills. I'm like, whoa, there are ranches everywhere. I'm like, every one of those houses is this cool ranch.
Yeah, it's true. And I remember like as a kid, like I'd wake up in the morning in the summers and I'd get on my horse and I'd go trail ride along the rivers and the pastures and stuff, and then I'd come back like at the end of the day. So it was basically like winters I was skiing, summers I was riding horses.
And you just hang out with your horse, going off into the woods.
Yep.
Were you always with a saddle or no?
Not always, no.
This is weird. That's like the cowboy hippie, isn't it, I guess? Or like the version of like cowboys would be like, I'm just going to get up barefoot, jump on my horse, go down and have a swim in the creek.
Yeah, no, I would swim on our horses, which was super fun.
Like you'd walk in on the horse?
Yeah, swimming on a horse is a really cool feeling. So I did that growing up.
Like is it like the horse is swimming?
Yeah,
and you're just, like,
because I lived
like,
right on a river, so we
it's
would
like the best flotation device ever.
Yeah, it's like a little scary, but
for the horse.
Well, I feel like the horses like it, but it's a little unnerving, like trusting that the horse is going to swim with you on its back. It was never for like a long period of time, just like cool. Across the river.
So what was this horse's name? Was it one specific horse?
I had a couple horses, but my main one growing up, her name was Sugar.
That's the perfect horse name. All right, tell me about Sugar.
Yeah, so I mean,
I want to really get into this. Like,
okay, here we go.
Okay. So before we get to that, we were joking. So we've just literally just met. We're chatting online. I'm aware of who you are. I know a lot of people who know you. I'm like,
this is our blind date.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a blind date, and we're gonna see how it goes. And then we'll let everybody. You said we'll let everybody.
We'll let the listeners decide.
Yeah, you guys
if it
let
went
us know if it went well and if there should be a second.
Second date.
a second podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So please tell me about Sugar.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm fascinated by this. By the way, so I grew up in the suburbs of Vancouver. Right. Like the only time I'd ever see a horse is like at some sort of event or on television or something. Yeah. Right. The occasional like go on vacation and you sign up for a horse ride and you just walk for like up a trail for like an hour and it's boring as hell. But so this always kind of fascinates me.
Yeah. I mean, growing up with horses is really cool. Horses are super intuitive animals and they're really in tune with your emotions. So if you're on a horse and you're scared, like your horse is going to be scared. But if you're on a horse and you're confident, the horse is going to be confident. So whatever you're doing on a horse, it really teaches you kind of how to be confident and work with another being to like be a team, which I just think was really special to learn when I was little.
And did you because you probably wouldn't have thought about it in those ways when you were a kid? You're just like, oh, this is a horse, right?
But like thinking back, like I did a couple of rodeo events, just a couple. I wasn't super into it, but
like the barrel racing.
No, so I did ones with cows where you were like cutting cows.
Okay. All right. So let's finish. I want to finish with like taking your horse down to the swim in the river, and then we're getting to that.
Yeah.
All right. Please tell me about like the morning, like swimming with horses and getting them to like become comfortable with all that kind of
I
stuff.
guess back to that. Yeah. So basically, I was either trail riding or doing cow events sometimes. But yeah, the trail riding is kind of where you had to learn to like trust your horse, because obviously if you're going to swim on a horse, you want to be confident and be like, okay, we can do this. Here we go. You don't want to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, because then like, the horse will probably be nervous.
Was she like born on the ranch or the farm?
No, so we bought her. My parents actually surprised me with her when I was 8 or 9.
You got a pony for your birthday,
and they put bows on her. It was like the most like stereotypical thing ever. And
did you ask, can I get a pony? And they did.
I mean, my mom's a big horse girl too, so
she got you a horse
she's like,
for
I want
her.
my daughter to be into it too.
That's cool. All right, so
yeah.
8, 9, you got a horse for your birthday. Okay.
Yeah.
And how old was Sugar then?
We were the same age, so she was 8 when.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got her when I was 8 because she was 8 too.
Now, is there, like, that's kind of old for a horse, isn't it?
I mean, for a kid, that's not old for a horse, but if you're trying to, like, break a horse yourself, that is old.
Because I was, like, thinking, like, wouldn't it be, like, for a younger kid, wouldn't you want the horse to be, you see those, like, puppy baby videos, and, like, they grow up together, and the dog and the kid are the best friend? Like, I thought maybe that would be kind of the same sort of a thing, like, with the horse.
Not really, because young horses are kind of crazy, and you have to break them in, and... tame them and train them. So that would have been hard as an 8-year-old child.
Yeah, fair.
So
how long does it take for you to like develop this bond so that your horse and you are like, this is my horse, and the horse is like, this is my person?
I don't know. I feel like it's different with every horse, and it kind of depends on their background. Like obviously if you raise a horse from the time it's born, it's going to be connected to you. But sometimes, like my mom has bought horses who used to be used for just like competing and for rodeos, and those horses aren't super connected to people just because they're treated really harshly, and so it takes a lot longer for those horses to trust you. So we've kind of had different experiences depending on the horse's history.
And then they probably, like you said, with the energy, they probably just pick up on the energy and the innocence of a child.
Yeah, like the horse. My mom actually just bought a horse like a month ago who has been used for competing with cows his whole life, and now he's like living the lush life. My mom's like feeding him oats every day and like brushing him, and he's like, what is this life? Like it's taking him a minute to
he's in retirement.
Yeah, he's
don't
like,
touch me. No, wait, don't touch me more.
Yeah. So
Sugar, so you'd let go, like just disappear for the day?
Yeah, and usually like my mom would come with me sometimes. There was a girl who lived across the street from me who was my age, and we would go ride too. I remember it was funny because our moms would always be like, don't go too fast, girls. And then they'd look out the window and we'd be like racing each other, ripping down the dirt roads. Like,
it's like,
and they're like, oh my God, really?
It's like a farmer's version of like a dirt bike. Even like,
exactly.
Right?
It's so true.
But it's a real, like an actual horse. Yeah. And they look out the window and the horse's hair is like streaming straight back, and like, wow, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever like ridden a horse like along like a beach, like an ocean beach?
No, I've always wanted to do that. I think it'd be so cool, but obviously there's not really.
I was following this. Like I don't know what account it is, Instagram. I don't even know if I still do, but it was like these dudes that in Morocco that had horses, and it was like every video was exactly the same of them just like mocking full speed, bareback down through the surf. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's definitely on the bucket list. So.
Right, and they would be easy too because you know everything about horses, so you could just go to like a stable or something in one of those places. And just start chit-chatting, and they know the lingo, you know everything. You're like, oh yeah, she knows what she's doing. Like, hey, you want to come for a ride? They're like, yeah, let's take her for a ride. I think you should do it.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Right? on the in between winters.
I also really want to try skijoring this winter.
Yeah.
Just because then it would combine like both the loves.
Please make an edit about that.
Yeah, no, I have a couple projects in the works, and I definitely want that to be part of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
That just feels like my roots.
Full on, are you going to wear the full-on hat and everything?
Oh, definitely. If I make it happen, that'd be sweet. Wear some chaps while skiing.
Make it happen. I wonder if, like, Oh, that's exciting. I want to talk to you about more of that too. The Skijoring video, that'd be sick. Is there, and I've seen like clips and stuff, but is there like a proper, like, do you want to do like a proper film about it?
No, not like the whole thing. I just want to have like a little segment doing it. I think it's a lot harder than it looks, and I've never tried it. So
Is
definitely.
Sugar still around?
No, so we sold her. I know who owns her.
She's glue now?
But no.
Sorry.
She's living a happy life as an old 25-year-old.
Did your parents tell you that she went to a farm upstate?
No. We literally
with a bunch of
we
other...
get pictures of her. We know she's fine.
Okay.
But she was the horse. Actually, she fell on me, and that's how I injured my knee. So we sold her after that, and I kind of stopped being
for glue, right? Like,
no, she's alive. I
upstate
swear. I'll send you a picture. But that's kind of when I stopped getting in or being so into horses, just because
it hurt.
It was a bad injury.
What happened there? So okay, obviously you and Sugar built this relationship together, where I'm sure you could just go and like hop on, and she's like, all right, let's go. Like, you know, you have this bond. Like, this is my person. This is my horse. And then one day you did something wrong, and she's just like, fuck it.
No, it wasn't wrong. I'm
just teasing. So tell me what happened there.
So we were competing in a trail riding event, but it was in an arena. So basically how that looks is there's a bunch of obstacles you have to go through with your horse. So you have to like open gates and step over logs and stuff like that. And so I tried to open the gate on her, and the reins got stuck on the gate, but it was just like a feature, I guess you could call it. So it like wasn't attached to anything. So she pulled back when the reins got caught, and the gate fell on her, and then she fell on me. Shattered my growth plate, tibia plateau, everything when I was 9.
So this is only a year after having Sugar.
So
she only had Sugar for a year.
Yeah.
So
I rode other horses.
In my head, I was building up like you had this like, this is like your childhood horse, and we have all these memories together.
Yeah,
but no.
Which I mean it was, because this happened in the fall after a summer of literally riding like sunrise to sunset every day.
Sugar turned sour.
Yeah.
So like at 9 years old, and you broke all these bones because a giant like 2,000-pound horse fell on you.
Yeah, so that kind of made me grow up really fast, because I've had 5 knee surgeries from that.
No way.
So
how did you end up getting into? All right, there's so many things to unpack here.
I know.
How did you manage to get through Moguls for so long?
Well, yeah.
You're like, well, I did it already, so it's no big deal. You got them out of the way beforehand.
Well, my story's kind of unique there too, because I was dealing with the knee surgeries from ages like 9 to 15.
Good Lord, 5 of them.
Yeah, so like as a kid, I kind of had to grow up fast, and I didn't really get to do anything fun. So it was almost like once my knee was healed, within skiing, Moguls was always my favorite thing to ski. So when I was 15 and like
How
finally
does that make
healthy,
sense?
I know
Sorry.
I'm a weird breed, but
Carry on. Sorry.
nothing about this story.
No, it doesn't at all. I'm like, you're just making this shit up. Like,
No, I have an interesting story.
I love
swear.
it. I love it. So you decided that Moguls was good, and it didn't hurt your. I guess maybe because you're young and you're still.
I'm actually in a way really lucky now, because the growth plate, it's so weird from all the surgeries that it almost like I have a bone growth that like protects my ACL almost. So on the right side, like my ACL's got like extra protection. So I'm like, this is why it happened.
Really?
So that's cool. But yeah, so I didn't start competing Moguls till I was 15. Mm-hmm. And no one else would ski Moguls with me, obviously, because like your reaction, no one wants to ski Moguls. So
Moguls are fun. Like I liked skiing Moguls. I just couldn't do it very well.
They're a lot.
And it hurts.
It's hard, yeah. But
because when you start at 15 or so, and unless you've done any like proper training, you're probably skiing in the back seat a little bit, and you start ripping through Moguls as fast as you can, and you're starting to like squirt on your tail, and then you hit that one Mogul, and you just go, whew, and you're launching through the air, feet first, ass over tea kettle. Yeah. Which I've done a million times.
Yeah.
But but it's fascinating. Did you go, like, were you in like racing before that at all? Or
no,
anything?
so I skied from the time I could walk. My mom's a rippin' telly skier, and she always loved the bumps on her telly skis, which is so sick.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm like, oh, your mom's a telly skier. That makes sense.
My mom's a telly skiing, hippie, horseback riding.
She sounds rad.
Yeah. But anyway, so I just grew up following her through the Moguls and just fell in love with them. And finally she's like, Ryan, I don't want to ski Moguls with you anymore. Go try the team. And I was like, okay, here we go. So I skied a day with the team, and I was like, wow, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm obsessed. I'm going to like make up for lost time. So it was really humbling because at 15, I was getting beat by 9-year-olds, you know, skiing around the jumps, scared of the jumps. Like,
and you're like whispering it. I can imagine you at the entry gate trying to like psych out the girl next to you, being like, hey, when I was your age, I had horses falling on me. You ain't shit. And then drop in, trying to get in their head.
I wish that's how I was. It was more like I was terrified. Like, oh my gosh, this 9-year-old's about to beat me.
So they don't weigh anything, and they don't have like...
Yeah, no, they just
fit. They fit
down.
in between the moguls, so they just go like this. They don't actually have to go over them.
So true.
Right?
Yeah, so that was my intro to moguls, but I'm a very, like, goal-oriented person. So I was like, I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm going to make up for lost time, and ended up competing on the NorAms for a couple years. But still was never, like, great. Was always kind of at the back of the pack. So it was kind of frustrating because I put so much hard work into it and never really felt successful, or it was hard for me not to focus on the results. So, yeah, eventually that just got to be a lot. So I quit and rediscovered that skiing's fun.
And you're just like, let's go shred.
Yeah.
Was it just a day, like, where you, was it, a lot of the times there's like a trigger moment when I hear this similar kind of story where it's like, oh, it was a day where it's just snowing like crazy, and we're just like, oh, let's just go for a lap. And I ended up skiing with some people, and I was like, oh, that was it. Was there one of those moments?
Yeah, definitely. So I was at a training camp in Austria in November, and actually it was on my 21st birthday, and it snowed like a foot of the most blower snow ever. So we couldn't ski the mogul course. So we were all out just free skiing on our like 69 underfoot. Yeah. But it was like so light, it didn't matter. And it was so friggin' fun. And I hadn't like laughed skiing like that in so long. And that was definitely the day I was like, wow, like I don't think pounding moguls is for me anymore. Like I appreciate my time in it, but I think I'm ready to move on.
Was it like a light bulb aha moment?
Kinda. Yeah. And I also remember on that trip, like, I'd be in bed every night, like, watching, like, Tatum edits and being like, this is what I want to do. Like, I just started to have a shift.
Yeah.
So,
then did you just finish that season? Because that was at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah, so I finished that season and then broke my back in the spring. And I was like, that's the sign.
That's right. Oh, so just like, were you just kind of mailing it in that season? Or are you still going as hard as you can? But it just...
I mean, I felt a little... I feel like I was almost using it as the way, like... this is good technical training to like become a better skier. So I was in a better mindset because I was more just trying to improve myself as a skier.
So instead of focusing on results that you weren't
which
really
I know
getting,
you never should.
Well, but no, like it's good though because it seems like you adapted to like, okay, I'm still committed. I'm not gonna bail on my team.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anywhere with this, like in like results wise, but I can focus on making myself better.
Yeah, and like going to hard courses and challenging myself to ski them well and throwing tricks I wanted to work on.
Were you always trying to like, or did you play a lot of hooky that year? Like just trying to go off and
I was still pretty good, but I do remember like a lot of days. So my mogul team trained at Snowbird a lot. So I remember a lot of days that I'd train at Snowbird in the morning and then I'd go up canyon to Alta and go free ski. And that was kind of my first experience really just like free skiing in Utah. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Like trying backflips just on like natural features and being creative. And I don't know, the creativity element of it to me was really inspiring because moguls is just so, everyone looks the same, you know, like most girls at the time I was competing were throwing the same tricks, like looked exactly the same going down. So it was cool to kind of stray away from that and like be more creative for myself as a skier.
Do you pay attention to the tour at all?
Definitely.
I know they just went to Europe last week, I think, for their first events.
Yeah, so I still pay attention and I still have a lot of friends in it, so it's really cool to watch them doing well. And I still love Olympics? It. Yeah, definitely. So
who you putting your money behind?
Oh man, I don't know. The girls team for the US is really strong this year. I don't know if I could peg one. There's a couple girls coming back from injuries that I really want to see do well. Morgan Shield has dealt with a ton of knee injuries. I'd love to see her come back up. I know she's put a lot of work in. On the guys' side, Nick Page, I'd love to see him do well.
He's got to beat the GOAT, though.
I know, it's true, but
Kingsbury, he's still there.
He is still there. But Nick, I grew up, he's a little bit younger than me, and we grew up competing, and he's always been so driven and motivated. So he deserves success more than anyone. So I really would love to see him do well.
I hope he does well.
Yeah.
I hope he gets second place because I'm Canadian. I'm a Michael Kingsbury guy.
But we gotta see something interesting, the unexpected. That's what's cool about it.
I agree. I remember watching the Nagano Olympics. It kind of dates me. It's probably before you were born, right? 98?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait, no. I'm 96.
Oh, nice. I remember watching the Nagano Olympics and watching Johnny Mosley throw that dinner roll. No, it was from that year. He did it was a 360 cross grab.
Oh, sick.
Simple. And I was like, what is that? That was one of my moments in my life being what was that?
That's so cool.
I was already into skiing and stuff, and that was one of my big moments. He actually came on the show and came to my house, and I was
really?
Like,
my gosh, I'll have to listen to that.
That was kind of a nervous moment. That was one of my, I don't get nervous a bunch when I meet people, but that was when I was like, oh my God, Johnny Mosley's coming to my house. Cool. Yeah, and it was a last minute spur of the moment thing. I'm like, wow. That's cool. So now do you ski moguls for fun every once in a while?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I coach occasionally, so I love to just rip a mogul line when no one's watching for fun.
Yeah, just a little extra cash kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm pretty connected with Wasatch Freestyle still. So it's just fun to give back. And it's also fun. I grew up in Bridger Ski Foundation here in Bozeman, and some of the girls on that team now will send me videos of their first backflips, and cool. That's really cool to still just be connected with it. So I'll always be connected with it. You
would do really well on some of the summer camps as a coach.
Yeah, so I go to Mount Hood every summer
Windell's?
And coach.
Oh, you coach there?
Yeah, so Wasatch Freestyle will go out just as a team. Mm-hmm. But I'd also love to go to Windell's. I know I ski for Line Skis, and they do a week out there, so I'd love to be a part of that. At Connor, invite me.
If they got momentum, you should see if you come up for a momentum.
Yeah,
even just to ski the park.
Yeah,
for a week.
Momentum was actually my first ski camp ever.
No way. So you're a momentum camper.
Yeah, 2013.
Who were your coaches?
Who did I have? I don't even remember. I know Woodsy was there. Mm-hmm. Tom Wallisch was there.
Yeah, you're teammates.
Yeah, I know.
How crazy is that?
So weird. Oh my gosh, so fun.
You went sledding with him and shooting with him this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. So that was such a special day for me. Oh my gosh. It was actually funny because we went out and we built this jump, or I built the jump. Everyone else was skiing for fun, and I was like, I have to make this jump perfect. Tom Wallisch is going to hit it.
Is it a big cheese whiz, or is it just
kind of? Well, it's funny because coming from moguls, I feel I always build everything super lippy and a mogul jump. So I put all this time into it, and everyone rolls up. They're like, this is a fucking mogul jump. And I was like, I'm sorry, it'll be good, I promise. So.
And you're like, you just have to backflip it.
Yeah. I don't like to do the work in the backflip. I like the jump to do it for you. So. Yeah. So
you're riding with Wallisch, you build this jump, and they're like, what? Just do you spend the day sessioning and stuff, and you just
Yeah, so the light wasn't great, so we didn't get a ton of hits on it, but I flipped it. Tom did a switch 5. That was so cool. It was so cool to watch in person. He let me ride his sled, which was fun too.
Yeah, I was looking at a video of you. I was going to ask you, do you have a sled?
Yeah, I did actually buy a sled this spring. So now I have my own.
Oh, and you did the were you just going out and riding it, or were you actually going to ski? Because we've talked about this so many times. Sometimes you just got to bring your good boots and go without your skis and just figure out how that thing works.
Yeah, so I've sledded for a couple of years, just borrowing friends. So luckily I've kind of figured it out. I wouldn't say I'm good at sledding, but I definitely know how to turn it on edge.
Many people are.
Get it places. So that's good. I definitely wanted to know that before I bought one. So,
can I do this?
Yeah.
And you heard all the horror stories from everybody,
yes, exactly.
Every single person.
Oh my gosh. And loading it onto the truck, everyone's like, that's the worst part. You're going to go straight through your window. So
I knew a friend that launched her sled over the top of the truck.
Oh my gosh.
It went up and over, went up the ramp, and then it went over the top, and then down the front, and it was sitting in front, full on whiskey throttle, and it launched over the top of the truck. It was crazy.
Man.
So don't do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best not to do that.
But it's not easy. But gets you a lot of cool spots though.
It does.
And it gives you a lot of good street cred too. You own a sled? You're like, yeah, brap.
I know, it's so funny when I first bought it. So many times I would just sit on it in my garage and just be like, oh my gosh, this is real.
Isn't it exciting?
Yeah.
And there's do you have And without having to bring up like the men versus women thing, but a lot of awesome shredder girls are getting sleds now.
I know, yeah.
There's a big movement coming forward. Like Tatum rips on her sled.
I know.
You got the blondes, right? And you got girls down in the States here. Like I didn't really know that there was a ton of until recently. There were like some really good zones. It's not like BC, but there are good zones down here.
Yeah, definitely not as good as up there. And I'm still in the process of trying to convince girlfriends to get sleds, but we are planning to be up in BC most of February, so
oh nice.
I'll
Whereabouts?
bring like Revelstoke area. So, but the sled's coming, so I'm really excited. That's definitely been a dream for a long time, is to be up there with a snowmobile. So,
how did the line skis thing come about?
Yeah, so this winter I did a backflip off a cliff that got a lot of
I saw it.
views.
I think that's
like,
I think that's how I ended up hitting subscribe or follow.
Yeah, so somehow I just got a lot of traction with that, and the photographer I worked with on that was doing the line team shoot like a week after at Alta, and he's like, you should just come meet these guys, because Line's kind of in the process of bringing on a lot of women right now, which is awesome. So I went and met with them. I gelled with them really well. I've been obsessed with Line and like traveling circus forever, so it just felt really authentic and like the right direction for me to go, and they were just immediately super interested. Like, if you want to ski with us, here's our card, let's talk more.
That's cool.
Which I thought was really cool, because I watched this thing of Michelle Parker way back in the day, and she's like, here's my card from Line Skis, it was my first sponsor, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just got a card from Line Skis, and that's my biggest idol. So it was really cool to kind of like feel like I had the same start.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about it.
And then you got and are you working with them on like projects for this winter and
stuff?
stuff?
So they're super supportive of the projects I've pitched, and just in general super supportive of the idea of women skiing kind of blowing up right now. And so I think
it's about time.
Yeah, it is. So I think it's going to be a good winter.
Right. And what do you have for like personal goals?
Personal goals. I really just want to keep pushing my bag of tricks. I mean,
because right now, I'm going to interrupt you. He's like it's mostly just big backflips, right? Which is rad, right? Like I'm a big fan. You listen to the show, so I'm a big fan of the Freeride World Tour, as you know. Like people like Hedvig, who has a very similar kind of path to yours. She was on the Norwegian Mogul team, I guess, same sort of thing. So she's got her backflips dialed.
Yeah.
And if you watched a couple events last season and the one before that in Japan, and I think it was in Andorra or something, just launched this massive backflip.
So
Same clip,
awesome.
a bunch of dudes did. She went bigger and stomped
So
it,
awesome.
stylier. And I'm like, that's that mogul background, right?
Definitely.
So right now it's you with background, like backflips. Are you incorporating like cork spins or anything?
Yeah,
to it now,
so I also live like 5 minutes from Woodward in Park City, which has been awesome. So I've worked a lot just kind of on making my threes more comfortable and more stylish with different grabs, working on flat threes, working on corks.
Fives, sevens?
Cork sevens. I haven't quite figured out the landing switch thing yet.
Yeah.
But,
do it.
Yeah, so I'm excited to bring all those
I'm excited
into
to
the
see
backcountry.
it.
Yeah. And,
so is your plan to basically like go to a zone and just build a jump, like more backcountry jibbing and that sort of stuff?
Kind of, but I would like to kind of expand my ability with natural takeoffs. Just because I think that film's really cool. I think for my own personal goals, it'd be really cool to not have to like build a mogul jump everywhere I go.
Right.
So that's definitely a goal too, is just kind of to be able to like flip and spin most features.
That's what Wiley was talking about, actually. That's kind of like when he was younger, he would, build that big jump. And he's like, I'm getting older. I don't do that anymore. Like, I just want to find something I can huck off of and not spend my day big and building the jump, right?
Yeah, and I feel like it's really cool. Like watching the blondes is definitely one of my biggest inspirations, just kind of going with the natural terrain and
the blondes,
incorporating like tricks into bigger lines. And
the blondes are fun. They're they're kooks. I'm
they're awesome.
good buzz with the blondes, but they're kooky, but I love them. But
That's
I'm looking for it's fun watching their progression.
Definitely, because I've watched them since they were just like making home edits, and
The
it was just
Caribou
them.
ones.
Yes,
Yeah.
I watched that in college. I remember like
It was a Whistler, like a WSSF intersection film.
Yeah.
Where like the 8 of them are riding the snowmobile at the same time.
Yeah, I love that so much. I remember watching that and being like, wow, like these girls are progressing the sport and this is what I want to be doing. So
Do you know them?
No, I've never met
All right,
them.
I'll put you in touch.
So yeah, that'd be awesome.
You should know them.
Because it's just been cool to watch them kind of grow from that and just like their genuine like passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Who's like your biggest inspirations? You said Michelle Parker. You mentioned Tatum earlier. Like obviously the
yeah,
blondes,
those
but,
are probably it. Like Michelle, Tatum, and the blondes are definitely my biggest inspiration. I feel like they do a really good job of kind of bringing like freestyle elements into backcountry lines, and they're also just really promoting like women pushing the sport, and I really look up to all of them.
Mm-hmm. You're really just getting started.
Yeah.
You're just getting started.
Yeah, this is the beginning.
What are some, like, what is, like, with all of this, like, have you done, you obviously did the NorAms and stuff. Did you do much traveling, like, abroad or anything?
Yeah, so I went to Australia for Moguls and Austria and Canada. That was kind of it for Moguls. And then I went to Japan in 2019 for free skiing, but it didn't snow the whole time I was there, and it was like 40 degrees. So I really need to experience Japan when it's like
skunked in Japan.
Yeah,
That's
I did.
so rare. I'm sorry to hear
I know.
that. Stupid climate change.
So yeah, I got to go back to Japan and figure that out.
Right. So you have any like specific trips lined up or any missions with like? You said you're going to be in Revy for a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm actually working on a project with a production company out of Bozeman, and we're kind of planning a road trip from Salt Lake up through Jackson, up through here, and then up to Revelstoke, and then we're hoping to spend a couple weeks filming in Revelstoke.
Because there's a lot there too. There's like Revelstoke, there's Golden, which is an hour and a half away, like Kicking Horse, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then you can go a little farther south, the Powder Highway. There's like Nelson, like that's where Cooch and
Sweet.
I think Cole might be hanging out there for a little bit. Because they're gonna do some work together. And there's a lot of filmers in Nelson.
Yeah.
The boys were saying that there's like 4 or 5 different film companies that live on his street. And I was like, that's
so cool.
That's super funny.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are like, it's neat because like I've been watching skiing since I was a kid, and then there was like, you know, for about 10 years or so, there was the core group of people, and now it's starting to flip. They're all getting old.
It's like the next generation.
Yeah, exactly. They're not skiing as much, and there's this new generation that's starting to emerge, and it's really, really exciting for me, anyways. It was neat that you said like how you were shooting with the line photographer. Who was it? Anyways, might as well give him a shout out.
Eric Sales.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah.
And then because Cole was telling me the same thing. He was just with Cooch, just hanging out on an Arc'teryx shoot as like a safety kind of guy, right? And the photographer was working for Arc'teryx, and they're like, oh, you should chat with. So you never know who you're going to meet or, you know, how it's going to work out, right? A lot of it's just serendipitous and timing and being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I feel like that's like such a big element in the ski industry is the people you meet, and just always being nice and being easy to work with gets you a long way. Yeah, that's what's worked for me. I mean, any sponsor I have right now is kind of through word of mouth from someone else. It hasn't really ever been me being like, hello, my name is Ryan. Look at me. It's a lot more like, hey, like someone else.
So that's good there too, because a lot of people had to do it different ways, where you got to write a shit ton of emails and put yourself out there too, right? Which is a huge part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to. I think it's a rude awakening for some people that have that natural skill and they get found out, and then in order to keep things going, they're like, oh shit, I actually spend so much time on my computer writing emails and doing stuff.
It's been interesting this fall because I've been trying to like pitch projects to line, which has been really cool to like, it's my own creative ideas, but there has been a lot of emails of being like, this is how we want to do it, and this is exactly when we want to do it, and this is how much we need. It's definitely been a learning curve.
How many horses I'm gonna need?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Like how many horses and cowboys we need. Like,
right, and who's filming it, right? Oh,
exactly.
I'm looking forward to that Skijoring video.
Yeah.
Who else is on the sponsor team right now?
Online?
On you.
Oh.
Who's on your sponsor team? Team Ryan.
Yeah, Team Ryan. I'm skiing for Backcountry Access, so
cool.
that'll be sweet. And then
I think Wiley's BCA.
I was looking at all these backpacks. I figured probably. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Strafe outerwear, and then we just signed with Pit Viper. So I
Because they're Utah, right? Aren't they?
Yeah.
I gotta hit those guys up. I wanted to get one of them on the show, like Spencer or something.
Yeah, no, and they're a silly company, but they're so supportive.
I love how you said that. They're a
doing.
silly company. It is a silly company.
It really is, and I think that's good for me because I'm really serious.
Do you
sometimes.
follow them on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter.
Whoever their social media person, you might know them, is hilarious on Twitter. Oh my god, they're so just silly.
It's been funny signing with them and talking to them about like what they want from marketing. They're like, if it's hilarious, you're going along with. These actually aren't.
I was gonna say those are the new
my
Pit Vipers.
My order hasn't come in yet.
Oh no!
But so it's that one's kind of new. That as of like a couple weeks ago.
That's awesome.
So excited about that one and Full Tilt Boots last season. So I guess kind of cool to be with them for their last season.
Are they going to be like? Are they K2 now, right?
Yeah.
Will they have? I wonder if I don't know because is Line still under K2s?
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably just have a K2 boot next year, possibly?
Yeah, so they're going to have the same models just with K2 logos on them. Mm-hmm. So.
Now, have you been, like, negotiating your own contracts and things?
Yeah, so it's been good. My dad helped me with the Line one because I got it. And obviously, like, I'm new to this, so I was just so excited. Like, oh, my gosh, they sent me a contract. And he's like,
give me a pen.
Yeah, he's like, wait,
whoa.
let's just look really quick. So that's definitely been a learning curve, too, is, like, you know, not just signing yourself away, making sure that it aligns with what you want for yourself. Mm-hmm.
It aligns.
Yeah.
Right. Your dad did help you. So, like, have you reached out to, like, any other, like, skiers and be like, hey, can I get your advice on this? Like, what do you have to say? Like, have you picked brains to make sure that you're not getting hosed?
Yeah, I've, like, asked mostly photographers I've worked with more so than skiers. I feel like if I'm talking to skiers, I'm asking more advice on like specific skiing stuff. Mm-hmm. But that'd probably be a good idea to
find someone you can trust that you can actually like. Because it's funny, like when people don't like talking about money, especially when they're in an industry where you're not necessarily competition. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't want you to make more than me, or I don't.
I know, it's weird.
It's that weird taboo where no one wants to talk about, you know, how much they make or how much they think you should make or all that sort of thing, which was where agents come in handy. Yeah. I know, you know, some of the bigger riders. I know Janelle with the Blondes just picked up with Superheroes, and I know Sam is with them. And
oh, cool.
That's definitely helpful if you want to get a little bit farther, something to look into for sure, because then they take care of the business side of things. Yeah. And they work for you and look out for your best interest. Yeah. Where you then can have that personal relationship with the brand and be like, all right, I need 6 horses. We need to have matching chaps. We can get the line. We can get the Line logo embroidered into the chap, like down the front. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, that'd be so sick.
And then you can just focus on the good parts of the relationship, and then let someone else deal with the BS.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I have to say, it has been helpful having a communication degree, dealing with that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun to be like, yeah, I'm using my degree for skiing.
No, for sure, absolutely.
When like grandparents ask what I'm doing, I'm like, yeah, I'm using my degree. We're good.
Yeah, you know? Look where I am now. It's all because of my schooling. Who says you got to work in an office with a degree? Yeah, right. True. Like if you can make enough money to earn a living, right, and do fun projects that you you get to do what you love, and you get to make a living for it and travel the world because of the skills you learned in university. Who says that isn't the right way to do it, right? Yeah, even if it's just one little thing that you learn that helps, it still counts. Yeah. So I want to now talk to you about your betrayal of Montana.
Oh, we're going back.
By moving to the Utah. So that's how I know you. It's just watching videos from like Eric Sales. I think I follow him on Instagram, and like Taylor Pratt. He's an X Games winner, by the way. Did you know that?
Yep, he knows that too.
And then like Digi and stuff, and that's kind of where I saw, I think, a lot of the first bits and pieces of that. So how did you end up just staying down there? I know you said you moved down there for like, Moguls and work, and you're just like, I'm just gonna stay here. Yeah. So is it better snow or what?
No, I'd say so. I skied with Snowbird when I was doing Moguls. And then when I quit, that kind of group of friends I was with was involved with Snowbird marketing. So a lot of times I'd just go out and they wouldn't have any girls to shoot with. So I'd be like, I'll try to shoot. Sure, why not? Like, I never really thought about skiing in front of a camera. But then I started doing it for Snowbird. And Snowbird was like, oh, we have no girls. Like, do you want to be on our team? I was like, for real. And like,
was Sherman working there yet?
Not yet. No, it was still Digi when I started there.
He's a big tech guy now.
Yeah, big tech guy. But yeah, he was still in skiing back then. So I appreciate all of those people believing in me in the very beginning when I didn't really even think that that would ever be a possibility for me. So Snowbird is kind of how I got my start, and then working with photographers through that, I kind of started getting in with Giro, snow, and then I don't know, it just kind of snowballed from there. And just being in Utah, I've just met so many cool people and had so many amazing opportunities with skiing. And now that I kind of have my own, I have it kind of figured out and my own sponsors underneath me.
Well, you created a life for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got friends and you've got...
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
But now that I kind of have that all figured out, I've definitely thought about the idea of moving back up here. Just because every time that I come up here...
So really it's not a betrayal of Montana, it's a betrayal of Utah.
I'm just going to betray everyone.
Yeah, no, it's not a betrayal at all. It's not a betrayal at all.
But I mean, because I do love Utah a lot, but I do, every time that I visit home, I'm like, wow, I love the grassroots
and the highway,
vibe up here.
There's no highway to Little Cotton Canyon here.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I remember moving to Utah and driving between Park City and Salt Lake. I used to not do it because it was like a 3-lane highway. And I'd be like, no, that's too big. I'm too scared.
For real?
Literally. So like, yeah, Salt Lake was big for me.
What about, how do you feel about the roads? I don't know a lot of the politics about the road, the highway and stuff. Like, do you think they should put in a gondola?
I don't know that the gondola is the best idea, but I do think it might be a cool idea to try to toll the road. There's another canyon, Mill Creek, in Utah that they toll it. So you can either have a pass or you can pay like a day fee to use it for a day. I feel like that would be more effective than trying to charge people for parking every day at the resort, like employees included.
Maybe they should
just toll the road, and then if you get like a season pass for the road, you can bypass the traffic, and then the people who are paying a day rate, stop at a booth, get tires checked.
Yeah, that's the key. I'm so shocked they don't do that now.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Maybe they could build a trail and get a bunch of horses and just
Skijoring
everybody
what? Let's just ride
down.
horses up. That would be the solution to solve all, because then only horseback riders can go skiing.
Can you do that for me in your movie? It's just like, some people, like, I live fairly close to Whistler Blackcomb, and like people like Hoji, he's my neighbor. He rides his bike to the hill all the time. I have a few friends that like have like tires with like studs in them and stuff, and they've set up a ski rack and everything, and I've always been pretty lazy, and I never do it. But this year, like right the day that I flew down here, I had to put my truck on a tow truck and send it to the city because I have some transmission issues, and I haven't driven it in 10 days. But I didn't miss it because I live close enough to everything. I just get lazy and drive, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of time it would take me to ride my bike to the base of Blackcomb is the same amount of time it would take me to drive up to the parking lot at like base 2 of Blackcomb.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't I just ride my bike more? Right? And it's the kind of that cool thing where you see it in videos, people are riding their bike, whatever. I need you to get your skis. And
That's such a good idea. I love it.
Figure out some sort of like ski rack that you can mount to a saddle or something like that. Or even just do an A-frame and just ride your...
That'd be so sweet. Maybe pull like a skier behind me too, so we're getting 2 people up the canyon.
Carpooling, horse pulling, and then like hitch the horse to like the front door of the lodge or something, and then go in.
That'd be so good.
Please do.
That's a great idea. Yeah, maybe I'll start doing that. People will catch on.
Right. So you think maybe you might end up back here again?
Possibly. Yeah.
But it's up in there because you know what's great about it though. Now that let me ask you this: would you consider yourself to be able to ski full time, or are you gonna have to like work?
So this is going to be my first season being able to be full-time just skiing, so that feels so cool. So I'm really excited just to fully take advantage of that, push myself in my skiing, and meet new friends. I'm so excited. And
the world's your oyster. You can do whatever the hell you want. Like you said, maybe you move up to BC and you're like,
that's definitely on. I mean, ideally, I'd love to be there, and I'm so excited to be there this winter and meet people like you and other people up there.
And it's cool because you get to that stage where you're like, all right, now I'm established. Now people are kind of knowing who I am. And I've got that little bit of clout or that little bit of recognition where I can call someone and they'll give me it won't be just like, oh, I'm not going to respond to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, who's this person reaching out? Like, oh, actually know who this person is. Let's connect. Let's see if we can, we have something to offer each other, right? Rather than just sometimes randoms calling you and be like, hey man, can I get something? Do you have any weirdos reaching out yet?
No weirdos.
No creepos, no
reaching out.
weirdos
No,
yet? Wait,
for the most
after
part.
this comes out?
I'm ready.
Are you?
Eyes to the camera.
I'm ready for you weirdos. So I remember talking to Tatum the first time she was on the show, and she was the only time. She's coming on again soon.
Oh, nice.
But she was talking about like some creeper hacking her account and all that kind of stuff. Have you had any like coaching on that, or any like heads up, or like just be wary, or like you ready? Because like I said, if you go do everything you want to do this season, and I highly expect it's going to be awesome, you're going to elevate your name and elevate your kind of status, and people are the weirdos are going to come out of the woodwork. Now, are you ready for that? Maybe not ready for it, but have you thought about that as a thing that's going to happen? It sucks. Don't be a fucking creep if you're listening to this, weirdos, because the womb cork girls are going to eat you for breakfast.
Love it.
But like it's just something that's still a thing, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like I've had like innocent creeps on like Instagram, but nothing,
everybody, yeah. Well, there's difference.
To the
There's
point,
there's
I'm scared.
innocent creeps who are like wanting to be like, oh, who's this person? I'm interested in this
Yeah.
person. But then there's like the unsolicited like wiener pic.
Yeah. No, luckily I've steered clear of that for the most part.
Don't
so
fucking.
hopefully we're not starting something.
We don't have
bad here.
those people don't listen to my show.
Okay.
They don't listen to my show. I hope they don't. You better not. If you do, you just cancel. You're canceled. But I don't know. I hate to bring that up, but it's a thing.
No, it's true. I get your point. And
do you have any like mentors or coaches or people that like away from skiing? Just mentors, people that you talk to that you're like, hey, what about this or what about that?
I mean, I feel like my family, my mom has been really supportive, and
your ski crew that you ski with every day kind of thing too.
Yeah, and just anytime that I'm like confused about something or have to vent, and my mom's boyfriend actually used to kind of be in the scene of skiing a little bit. He runs Wasatch Freestyle now, so there's a lot of connections, but he used to do a lot of free skiing and photo shoots and stuff there, so he's been really helpful, kind of like navigating sponsors and contracts and stuff. So yeah, luckily a lot of people in the family that have been helpful about
That's
it.
cool.
So yeah.
Now, away from horses, skiing's done. What are you doing with yourself? Skiing's done. It's the middle of the summertime. What are you doing for you?
Yeah. I just got my yoga teacher training certification.
Ooh, the 200-hour one?
Yeah.
Where did you do it?
I did it at a studio called Tadasana. It's in Park City. It's like
you didn't take advantage of like going to Bali or some weird.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
Isn't that the whole point of like I'm gonna do it in Morocco on the beach, or I'm gonna go do it
that
in
would
the
have been
Maldives.
Cool. But I mean, it was also cool to walk to it from my house, and
Fair.
now I'm teaching there too.
Okay.
So that's cool, and I feel like it complements skiing so well, and it's good injury prevention, and just keeps your mind calm and keeps you present and keeps you grounded. So all of those things are
Good mindset, good for your body
Yeah.
too. I don't know, like I can't believe how many like really amazing skiers I've spoken to that have been like, I only just started stretching like last year.
I know, it's terrifying to me when I get my skier friends in and they're like so tight. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want you to get injured. Come do yoga.
And they don't even think that all I have to do is just spend 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Foam roll and
yeah.
like touch your toes and like
Yeah.
just do a little bit of mobility and right.
Yeah. I feel like anyone who's had injuries has more awareness of that. But it'd be cool to like get into that before you get injured.
Right, yeah, because I always tell people I have like an undergraduate in like physiotherapy or kinesiology just because I've hurt like every part of my body. So I'm like, oh, is this how you feel? This is how you heal a hand. Oh, that's how the shoulder goes.
Yeah.
This is what I got to do for my knee. Well, we'll see. Don't get old. But that's cool. And then so yoga, horses, skiing. It's pretty much sums it. Tattoos. You got a bunch of tattoos.
I do have a bunch of tattoos.
What are these ones?
This one is actually this one's kind of important. It's for my friend who passed away in 2019.
It's a feather.
Yeah, so he skied Moguls with me, Hunter. And he's actually a big inspiration to me. When I was skiing Moguls and I never really believed in myself, he would always say, "You're Rian fucking Zetzer, like get over it." And that was like his statement to me. So like anytime I ever don't believe in myself or am doubting my abilities, I just picture him in my head like, "You're Rian fucking Zetzer."
And then eventually you're going to be like, I'm Rian fucking Zetzer.
Yeah,
right?
so like anytime like I see this tattoo for him, it just like reminds me
reminder.
that. So it's like a good reminder to have right there.
I have a friend who said we do something similar, and he's like, no matter what happens in life, good or bad, every day I wake up, I'm still Brett Crabtree. And I was like, yes! You can do the same thing. Every morning I wake up, I'm still fucking Rian Zetzer.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you, you weren't going to be here, and you're back now.
Yeah, so I was going to come back for Thanksgiving anyways, so I just came back a little early because I love being up here.
And there's a big reason why you're here.
And the powder.
Your grandfather's
yes,
birthday
and it's,
today?
Oh, yes, yep. It's my grandfather's 86th birthday today.
You can talk about your personal
Happy birthday.
There you go. Give him a shout. He might listen to it.
I think, he's awesome, and he's my number one fan. He's, like, so excited.
He's 100% going to listen to this.
I know he is. Yeah, so thanks. Thanks, Papa. You're amazing.
Did he ski?
I love you. He did. Not, like, super aggressively, but he did ski. Both my grandparents did.
Do you have memories of, like, going skiing with your grandparents and stuff?
Not really my grandparents. My grandpa went up to Bridger Bowl a couple times. It was a little scary trying to get him on and off the chairlift.
Yeah.
Like, once he was skiing, he was great. But, like, the chairlift part, some of the older chairlifts at Bridger are a little tough because they're, like, the two-seaters.
Are they, like, two-seaters? I've never skied in Montana. This is the first time
It might be
I've been
different
here.
now. I haven't skied up there in a while, so... But when I was growing up, younger, it was all, like, red two-seater chairs.
So I'm a resort skier. I always have been. I tour occasionally. I got a sled, too, but... 99% of my life is like, I got to work tonight. I'm going up the hill, right? So if I'm coming to Montana, if someone's coming to Montana again, if you had to like tailor a little trip for them, where would you decide? Where would you tell them to go?
Yeah, I mean, Bridger,
like super ridiculous, expensive lift tickets aside, because I've seen some of the prices of them this year, and it's mind-boggling. So prices is no issue. If I'm like, okay, where am I going to go skiing? I want to go to some resorts. I want to go ski some zones. Where am I going to go?
Yeah. I mean, Bridger Bowl has such a special place in my heart. I feel like timid, like saying I like Bridger on this podcast just because everyone who skis at Bridger is kind of like likes that it's still a little bit of a hidden gem. And it's literally a non-profit ski resort, which I think is so cool.
Actually?
Yeah, actually.
I didn't know that.
Which is so cool because I feel like it gets away from the whole scene of skiing, and it's just literally about people who love skiing for skiing. And so it's definitely worth checking out. Big Sky's pretty cool too. It's got some big lines off the tram, which is really cool. I usually always stuck to... They've got a couple chairs that are just straight up Moguls the whole way down. And obviously, like, not many people ride that chair, so I'd always just be like,
you said as soon as you said
the Moguls.
As soon as you said that, I like screwed up my face.
I know, I saw your face. You were like, yuck.
And then I remembered, no, that's your jam.
Yeah. No, that's so true. I literally would just a whole day of skiing, just same run over and over again, just like ripping bumps.
I think you'd like kicking horse and
I skied kicking horse once actually in right before the pandemic hit. I was there in February.
And the lower half of the mountain is all just steep ass moguls.
Yeah, no, and kicking horse reminds me a lot of Big Sky actually.
Oh, yeah?
There's a lot of similarities. So if you like kicking horse, you'd love Big Sky. So yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, we got this big movie. Are you gonna come to the movie tonight? The movie thing?
Yes, we have my grandpa's big birthday dinner,
Right.
86. But then I'll be at the movie after that.
When it starts getting bored and the kids want to go do their own thing, you'd be like, peace out, I'm going to go see my ski buddies. And then maybe next year you'll have a film in it.
That would be the dream.
Hopefully.
I mean, that's like one of my bucket list items is to premiere a movie at the Rialto in Bozeman, downtown.
Do you have these written down?
Yes, I do. Coming from Moguls, there's so much like goal setting. So I'm a big like...
Do they coach you through that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it was really cool because growing up in BSF, we would have a lot of like goal setting workshops and have sheets set out of like, what are your short-term goals for this week? What are your goals for this season? So they really taught us all the elements of setting goals, which I think has been so helpful. Especially like if I ever have self-doubt, it's like helpful to be like, okay, just take this little step to get there rather than trying to set a goal that feels out of reach.
You know how to like put it into set. It's funny. This seems to be the theme that's emerging for this season is the goal setting. Cole was on and he's a big goal setter.
That's awesome.
Good to know. And then, so you got to write it. You wrote that goal. I'm going to premiere a film at
Yes.
the Rialto, it's called? Mm-hmm. Is it just like a bar or like a little theater?
No, so it's like a theater, and it was like refurbished, and it's like, it's been there forever. Mm-hmm. But like Mixtape premiered there.
This is just the other night, right?
Yeah, I think it was like a month ago. But like a bunch of the line guys like Johnny Merrill and Jake Hopfinger, and Wiley was in it too, I think. Yeah, so they premiered there. So I think that'd be really special to premiere in my hometown.
Well, next season, right? Now, you have to either figure out, am I going to be a part in the smaller film or am I doing my own project, right?
Yeah, so I've got two kind of projects in the works. One is with the production company based out of here. Mm-hmm. And
is
there's
that the horse jarring, ski jarring?
I don't know what that's going to be part of yet. We still have to figure that out.
I really want to see that.
It's going to happen, I promise. But there's me and 5 other girls in that one. And then I'm also doing a project that's more of like my love child that I'm kind of pitching. I'm doing it with 2 of my closest friends, Claire Chapman and Allie Hansen. And Allie is an ex-slopestyle skier. Claire's an ex-gymnast. So we all have really similar goals of bringing kind of tricks into the backcountry. And that's going to be supported by Line and Pit Viper.
Is Pit Viper doing goggles now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So we'll be in the goggles.
The goggles, yes!
So it'll be good. It's going to bring like a fun, silly element, and I feel like it'll be perfect, like the shit show of us trying to figure out sleds and getting to zones, and it's just going to be fun. And
you should watch, do you know who Alex Armstrong is?
Yes, yeah, and actually I've talked to her a little bit, so I hope I get to meet her.
Yeah, get a hold of Alex. She hasn't released her films yet. It's like a 3-part. I watched the whole thing, but it's going to be in 3 parts, and it's kind of the same sort of thing as her getting after it and figuring things out. And she's got a very dry, hilarious sense of humor that comes across really well in the film. And it makes me, what you just described makes me think about what she did. Kind of this
that's awesome
DIY kind of sensibility. Where like, I'm just going to go out and figure this out and do it as best we can.
Yeah.
Do you have a filmer set up for that project?
Yeah, so we have a filmer set up when we get to BC. We're going to film with Cam Keith. He works with Liberty, which is who Allie skis for. And then we know a lot of people in Utah. So we don't have one filmer who's going to go through the whole thing, but we'll work with
whoever's available.
A few different people. Yeah.
Until you put out this project this year, then next year everyone's like, hey, can we work with you?
Hopefully. I mean, hopefully that's what happens, so just keep being nice to people, being fun to work with, and hopefully that works out in the long run.
Where can people find you on the web and the social medias?
Probably just on Instagram. It's just my name, Rian Zetzer.
How do you spell that?
RianZetzer.
Right, I used to be like Rian. I would read it Rian.
Yeah, most people say Rian, but it's just Ryan spelled wrong.
And then I told Wiley, I heard somebody say it, and I was like, yeah, Rian Zetzer's coming. He's like. And I was like, she's this. He's like, oh, wait, she's not a dude? Like, it's a chick? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay, cool, right on.
Yep.
So go follow her. And you've got some killer. Oh, I was going to say, you sing too?
I do, yeah. Yeah, I do.
I saw that today, actually. I was doing a quick little scroll through. Is that like, you didn't even mention that. Is that like a secret
I know.
thing?
Thank God we got through the whole thing and I didn't have to sing. So.
Well, you are sitting in front of a microphone. No, I'm just kidding. That'll be the bonus.
Need a few more fat tires for that one, but eventually. Oh no.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, thanks for coming. Go check out Ryan and pay attention because she'll definitely be coming across your device soon. I guarantee it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the Wiley's Garage.
It's pretty sweet. It's
dope. I'm gonna come back here.
MTV again. Garage Cribs. This
right.
Is a good one.
I think this is gonna be my new permanent podcast studio. Be like, dude, I'm moving in. We'll see what he has to say to that. But cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers. This has been a Redmark Media production.